Some men have everything, except memories with their own children. Derek Lawson stepped off his private jet. Cold sunlight glinted across the runway, casting a pale light on his distant face. His phone rang. The assistant mentioned a $5 billion investor meeting. He didn't answer. Ahead, amid the chaotic crowd, stood Monica Hayes, still, silent, holding the hands of two twin boys. They turned toward him. A beat skipped in his chest. The woman who once loved him most, and two children, with the same green eyes as his. The boy on the right tilted his head, tugged his mother's sleeve. "Mom, who's that?" Derek froze. "Monica?" She turned away instinctively, but her hand holding the boys trembled. Derek didn't move. The phone rang again. "Mr. Lawson, the meeting starts in 20 minutes. He stayed rooted in place, staring at the child, and something inside him broke. Night. Derek sat alone in his Manhattan penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling windows opened to the city, but he didn't look. His morning suit still lay folded on the table. Beside it, a framed wedding photo, face down. He opened the drawer, pulled it out again. His hand trembled slightly. Monica looked younger in the photo, radiant. And him. He had no idea then what it meant to lose someone forever. A boy's voice echoed in his mind. "Mom, who's that?" Derek shut his eyes, gripped the frame. No tears fell, but his body felt unbearably heavy. He stood, quietly slid the photo back into the drawer, closed it, slowly. 62 stories of lights still shimmered outside. Only he was lost in a darkness with no name. The third-floor apartment in Brooklyn didn't have much, but there was light, fresh paint, and the sound of children laughing. Monica sat among kids in a community art class, sleeves rolled up, paint staining her hands. The walls displayed the children's drawings, crayon families, sunlit homes, a mother with two kids by her side. In the corner stood Monica's unfinished piece, a man in a white shirt, drawn from a distance, his face still blank. The twin boys ran up and hugged her from behind. "Mom, I drew a superhero. And I drew Dad, even if I've never met him." Monica paused. Her brush stopped mid-stroke. She smiled, but her eyes welled up. She wasn't fragile, she was just doing her best to play both roles. 6 years ago, a charity gala in Midtown. Golden ballroom. Expensive champagne. Monica stood quietly in the corner beside a few children's paintings she'd brought for auction. Simple dress, eyes tracking each frame. No one paid her any mind. Until a tall man stopped. He stared at the charcoal sketch of an invisible father. "You painted this?" "No. A 7-year-old who lost his dad did." Derek nodded, said nothing, but his eyes lingered. That night he placed the highest bid. 3 weeks later, Monica received an unexpected call. "I've never met anyone who stayed silent in a room that loud." It was the first time he ever reached out, and the first time she let someone in. They married 4 months later. No press, no glitter. Derek wanted simplicity. Monica just wanted peace. But peace didn't last. His mother didn't attend. She sent one cold message. "As long as she doesn't give birth, I won't object." Monica overheard it, from the maid. She said nothing. After the wedding, the press found them anyway. Public school teacher marries New York tycoon made headlines. Monica became pregnant with twins just as things began falling apart. Derek was absent, buried in work. His mother grew sharper, crueler. One morning, he came home. She was gone. On the table, a handwritten letter, still unfolded. "You once called me strong, but even strong people need someone to stand with them." And just like that, she vanished, without a trace. His phone kept ringing. The meeting started in 10 minutes, but Derek didn't pick up. He turned from the VIP lane and pushed through the crowd, eyes locked on Monica. She turned her back. gripped the boys' hands and walked quickly toward the exit. One child looked back, puzzled. "Monica!" She didn't stop. Derek ran. His suitcase hit the ground with a hollow thud. He caught up in the parking area. Monica turned, eyes guarded. She shielded the boys behind her. "You're leaving again?" Monica said nothing. No anger in her face, just exhaustion. The SUV pulled away. The tinted window faded to black. Derek stood there, hand still reaching into the air. For the second time, she disappeared right before his eyes. Monica didn't go far. She just needed quiet. The small ice cream shop upstairs became her hiding spot. Derek found them. The three sat near a window. The boys laughed. Monica stared into a melting scoop. He approached, stopped just a few steps away. She looked up, eyes met, no words. "I just want to ask." His voice cracked. The sentence broke off. One boy looked up at him, tilted his head. "Mister, you look a lot like me." Derek looked at the boy, then at Monica. She lowered her gaze. Didn't deny, didn't confirm. He swallowed hard. A feeling bloomed in his chest, impossible to name. "I need to know the truth." Monica stayed silent, but her hand tightened around her child's. They sat across from each other, the shop emptied. Only the soft clink of spoons filled the air. Derek stared at her. He'd never seen her this silent. "They're my sons, aren't they?" Monica didn't answer right away. She glanced at the twins, smudging cream on the table. A tenderness softened her face. "I was pregnant when I left." Derek froze. Her words weren't loud, but they shattered something inside him. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because back then, I didn't think you'd choose me, or choose them." He lowered his head, fists clenched on his knees. No anger, only a deep sense of failure. "I searched for you for 3 years, Monica." "I know." Her voice shook, as if that truth hurt more than anything. Vivian Lawson sat at the tea table in her estate. Sunlight hit her velvet dress. She flipped through documents, eyes cold. 2 children? And she stayed silent all this time? The assistant nodded, gently laid more files on the table. Vivian said nothing, but her lips tightened. She picked up her phone. "Call legal. I want full custody. Monica Hayes will not raise my grandchildren." A pause. Then her voice, calm but cutting. "I won't let Lawson blood grow up cramped, mothered by weakness." A breeze stirred the old photo of Derek on the table. It tipped sideways. Vivian straightened it. Her gaze didn't soften. In her world, love always came with control, and this time was no different. Monica wheeled her suitcase from the hotel. The boys walked quietly beside her. No one asked why they were leaving early. Derek crossed the lobby, shirt wrinkled, eyes red from a sleepless night. He stopped in front of her. "You're leaving, like last time?" She didn't answer. Her grip on the handle tightened. He looked at the boys, then dropped to his knees. Cold marble met his skin. "Don't take them from me. I'm not asking for your love, just let me be their father." The boys stood still. One clung to his mother's sleeve. The other stared at Derek, unblinking. Monica turned away. Her shoulders trembled. "Don't make me feel cruel." Derek stayed on his knees. No tears, just his hand pressing into stone, as if holding on to the last thing he had left. Monica's small apartment smelled of crayons and aged wood. It was Derek's first time stepping inside. The wall was lined with photo frames of the twins swaddled, smiling, crawling, running. Every moment had Monica in it. Always the 3 of them, never him. Derek reached for a photo of their first birthday. A tiny cake, a crooked candle. Monica smiling, but her eyes distant. On the table sat a child's drawing, My Family. 3 figures, with a blank white space beside them. He stood still. His chest felt like it was carrying stones. What would you feel If the first time you saw your child was in a photo, not real life, but a past you had missed? Monica didn't ask him to leave, but she didn't invite him to stay either. Derek spent the night on the old sofa in her two-bedroom apartment. The next morning he woke early and made pancakes, used the wrong flour. The twins stared at him, both amused and curious. One asked, "Have you ever made this for anyone before?" He smiled. "No, this is my first time." That afternoon, they went to the nearby park. Derek showed the boys how to fly a kite. One got stuck in a tree. He climbed up, scratched his hand retrieving it. When he came down, one of the boys ran up and hugged him from behind. "Thank you, Daddy." Derek froze. Monica, standing a few steps away, heard every word. She said nothing. The breeze stirred gently, and, for the first time, he felt like he was exactly where he belonged. A quiet morning. Monica was folding clothes when the doorbell rang. The mailman handed her a thick envelope, stamped with a court seal. She opened it. A legal petition, filed by Vivian Lawson, requesting full custody. Reason: the current living environment does not meet the Lawson family's standard of care. The children require a stable, secure upbringing. Monica's hand tightened. Her lips trembled, but her eyes stayed calm. She handed the letter to Derek. He read every line, looked up. "I didn't know she was doing this. She's always believed I wasn't good enough." There were no arguments, just a long silence between two people pulled backward by a past neither of them asked for. Monica walked out of school after class. The twins ran ahead, laughing. She reached for the car door. Then flashbulbs exploded. 3 strange men, cameras in hand. "Are you the mother of Derek Lawson's twins? How does it feel to be called a gold digger?" Monica shielded the boys. Didn't answer. She kept her head down, rushed them into the car. That night, headlines flooded the internet. Unknown teacher and the billionaire's secret twins. Images were cropped, twisted. Her smile turned into something they could weaponize. Derek held his phone, furious, but Monica quietly closed her laptop. "I'm used to it. To them, being black and poor is proof enough." No one replied. But inside her, an old layer of armor cracked again. On a morning finance segment, Victor Langston sat smugly beneath studio lights, gray suit, that familiar condescending smile. "We're not saying Mr. Lawson's being dishonest, but when a woman shows up years later with 2 kids, no paperwork, no DNA, what would you think?" The host nodded. "So, you're suggesting this could be staged?" Victor didn't answer. He just smiled. The camera lingered long enough to plant the seed. Monica saw the clip while cleaning up after class. Her face went pale. Derek threw the remote across the room. "He's using you to come after me." Victor didn't need to sue. He just had to raise questions, and the public would do the rest. When reputation becomes a weapon in a power game, who has the strength to defend the truth? Late afternoon. Monica was organizing paperwork when the dizziness hit. Her vision blurred. Ears rang. She grabbed the desk but collapsed. When she came to, everything was white, the sterile smell of disinfectant. Derek sat by her bed holding a damp cloth to her forehead. "You fainted at school. They called me." Monica looked around. Her voice was faint. "The boys. They're safe, with the neighbor." She closed her eyes, her breath still shallow. Derek rinsed the cloth, placed it gently on her head. His hands, steady now. No urgency, no fights. Only a man, afraid of losing her again. This time he wasn't standing on the sidelines anymore. Not with Monica, not with their children. The weekend. They took the boys to the park. Monica, still weak, sat on a bench. Derek played hide-and-seek with the kids. One boy ran too fast, tripped on a stone step. The crack of his fall stopped the park cold. Blood streamed from his forehead. The child screamed. Without thinking, Derek rushed over, scooped him up, ran toward the road. His hands trembled, eyes wide. He flagged down a cab in the middle of traffic. "Don't cry. Daddy's here now." At the hospital, the doctor reassured them. Just a few stitches. Nothing serious. Outside the ER, Derek stood in blood-stained clothes, fists clenched. "No one is taking my child away again." He didn't say it to anyone, but for the first time, it sounded like a vow, not from a billionaire, but from a father. Vivian arrived at the hospital with her lawyer, unannounced. Through the frosted glass of the waiting area, she saw Derek sitting on the floor, back against the wall. The twins lay across his lap, fast asleep. Blood still stained his shirt. His hand clasped the smaller ones tightly. She started to enter, then stopped. No one inside knew she was there. She simply watched. It was a moment that felt foreign to her son. No power, no titles, just a man, guarding his children's sleep after chaos. She said nothing, only turned away. Her eyes, for once, no longer sharp, and in her fading footsteps, something quietly broke. A mother, finally seeing her son. Love the right way. Light rain tapped the windows. The apartment felt dimmer than usual. Monica was packing clothes into a suitcase. Derek stood in the doorway. Didn't ask, just watched. "Where are you going?" "California. An art school offered me a position. The boys will have space. Peace." He was silent for a moment. "What about me?" She paused, took a breath. "We don't belong to the same world, Derek. I'm not the same man anymore. But your mother hasn't changed. The media hasn't. And neither has someone like Victor Langston." She closed the suitcase. Her hand trembled. "I'm not running. I'm protecting my sons." Derek stepped forward as if to speak, but Monica had already turned. This time, there were no tears, no apologies. She simply walked away, as if that was the only way left, to hold on to peace. The sea wind howled. Waves crashed against gray sand. Derek stood alone, jacket unbuttoned, hair tousled. In his hands, a thick folder, a Dubai expansion contract. He stared at the first page. Lawson Global Expansion. Then flipped to the signature page. His hand slowly tore it in half. Papers scattered into the ocean wind. No one saw it. No announcements. Just a man, stepping down from the empire he built to chase what he once let slip away. "Wherever you go, I'll follow." He didn't shout, but he meant it, because for the first time, family wasn't an afterthought. It was the only place he ever truly belonged. The office door at Lawson Group creaked open. The glass walls that once reflected power were now coated with dust. Derek stood in the center of the vast room. He closed his laptop, removed the nameplate from his desk. CEO Derek Lawson. He packed up notebooks into a cardboard box. An old photo frame slipped out. Him and Vivian at their first shareholder meeting. He paused, then set it back on the desk. At the emergency board meeting, he spoke plainly. "I'm stepping down. The company will have new leadership. The headquarters is moving to California, where I truly need to be." A long silence followed. No one objected. A few nodded quietly. One or two wiped their eyes. He wasn't abandoning his career. He was choosing something greater. If you had to choose between power and family, what would you choose? Tell us in the comments below. There was a gentle knock on Monica's door in California. She opened it and froze. Vivian Lawson stood there. No bold makeup, no lawyer in tow, just a mother, empty hands, weighed down eyes. "I didn't come to take them. I came to apologize." Monica said nothing. The boys ran out from inside. They paused, clinging to their mother's side. Vivian looked at them for a long moment, then whispered, voice raspy, "I lost them because of my pride." 3 generations stood in silence. Vivian bowed her head. None of her usual hardness remained. "If you'll allow me, I'd like to be their grandmother, not as a Lawson, but as Derek's mother." Monica gave a small nod. Tears welled in her eyes. The door didn't close. It didn't have to open wider. They had finally stepped through the past. An urgent legal notice was filed with the local court. Plaintiff, Victor Langston. Claim, requesting a DNA retest for Derek Lawson and the twins. Suspicion of medical record fraud for personal gain. The media erupted. Headlines spread fast. Is he really their father? The question still unanswered. In the backyard, Monica held the trembling boys. She kept her voice calm. "It's going to be okay, babies." Derek stood frozen in front of the TV, jaw tight, fists clenched. "He's not coming after you anymore. He's attacking our children's very existence." Vivian saw the news too. She went quiet. Victor didn't want truth. He wanted doubt. And doubt alone was enough to shatter a family still learning how to heal. The courtroom buzzed with noise. Harsh lights cast down on the front rows. Victor sat confidently at the plaintiff's table, fingers interlocked. Then, a stir at the door. A surprise witness. Danielle Langston, Victor's only daughter. Tall, sharp-eyed, visibly angry. She faced the court, then her father. "I'd like to speak." The judge nodded. Danielle stepped forward, voice clear. "He doesn't care who their real father is. He only cares who he can destroy." Victor shook his head. "You don't understand." "No. I understand better than anyone. I'm your daughter. You use children as pawns. Derek doesn't." The room fell still. Victor said nothing. For the first time, he lowered his head. Truth didn't come from a lab. It came from blood, choosing not to stand with him anymore. Golden sunlight poured into the courtroom. Monica held her son's hands. Derek stood close. The judge read slowly from the final decision. "This court grants joint custody to Ms. Monica Hayes and Mr. Derek Lawson. The children shall continue living with both parents in California." No applause, but Monica exhaled in relief. Derek nodded, eyes glassy. The twins didn't understand it all, but they clutched their parents tighter. Vivian sat in the back. She didn't leave, not yet. Before exiting, she glanced at Monica. For the first time, her gaze held no judgment. On the courthouse steps, the last rays of daylight brushed against Monica's and Derek's hair. No words were needed. They knew. One door had closed, and a new home was being built from the pieces. Late afternoon. The California beach lay quiet, only waves, and the soft thud of little feet chasing the sunset. Monica watched the boys play. Her long dress fluttered in the breeze. Derek approached, a small velvet box in hand. He didn't speak right away. He gently knelt, on the very spot where all three had left footprints that morning. Monica turned, stunned. "What are you doing?" Derek opened the box. A simple silver ring, no diamonds. "The first time, I proposed out of love. This time, it's love, responsibility, and belief." The boys ran up, hugging their father's legs. "Say yes, Mom." Monica knelt down. Tears fell, but she smiled. She didn't need to say a word. She held out her hand. A family, finally whole. Not perfect, but enough. Soft sunlight kissed the beach sand. White fabric streamed gently in the wind. No loud music, no crowd, just loved ones, and a rare peace after the storm. Monica walked slowly down the flower-lined path. Her dress was simple. Her hand trembled. Then, another hand reached out. Vivian. No words, just a nod, and they walked forward together. Up ahead, Derek waited. The twins, in little suits, carried the rings, one in each hand. Monica reached him, her eyes full. her heart quiet. No one played a role anymore. They were simply themselves, a family, finally home. Outside, the ocean roared. Inside, a new office. No tinted glass, no leather throne. The sign read, Lawson Legacy. Derek sat among young partners. They discussed their first project, affordable housing for single black mothers in South LA. We're not building to sell anymore. We're building so everyone gets a fair start. On the walls, drawings from Monica's former students. In one corner, a photo. The full family, Monica, Derek, the boys, and Vivian. Derek signed the project plan. No billion-dollar spotlight, but in his eyes, something steadier than wealth, a legacy, and a heart, finally at rest. At sunset, the backyard glowed. The twins ran laps around the wooden table, laughing freely. Derek sat on the grass, sleeves rolled up, holding a warm cookie tin. One boy collapsed into his lap, breathless. "Dad, are you sad you lost the company?" Derek paused, looked into those pure, concerned eyes. He smiled, hand gently on the boy's head. "No, because I have you." The other twin jumped in, hugging him tight. Golden light fell on all three. No luxury car, no major deal, no cheering crowd. Just two small arms, wrapped around a man who once lost everything. And now, knew he had something worth everything. Evening settled. Warm yellow light spilled from the tiny kitchen. Monica put away her brushes, covered her easel. Derek stood on the porch, tea in hand, quietly watching the boys curled up in the fabric tent he built that morning. Vivian sat on a wooden chair, knitting. Each loop of yarn, a quiet stitch into the space she was learning to mend. No one said a word. But in every glance, there was something warmer than any apology. This home wasn't perfect, but it was built by those who dared to return, who let go of pride, to hold on to what mattered most. Family isn't where we begin. It's where we find the courage to return. If this story reminds you of someone, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, because someone out there might be waiting for the courage to come home. And if you still believe in beauty in this world, subscribe to our channel. The next journey might just be yours.